I've got the new Too Faced Natural Love eyeshadow palette to share with you guys today. It's a release from their spring 2017 collection, and I purchased mine off of the Sephora website, and I've been using it for the past 3 days. And I also did a demo, which is the look that's on my eyes right now, and that'll be towards the end of the video if you're interested in seeing kind of how these eyeshadows went on for me. This palette has 30 eyeshadows in it, and each one is 0.03 ounces per shade, which is the same amount of product that you're getting in these smaller size pans in their little tin palettes. This is the peanut butter and jelly palette, so they're the same size as these eyeshadows over here. According to the website, it says some of your favorites from the best-selling Natural Eyes, Natural Matte, and Natural at Night palette, but get ready to take your neutral game to the next level with new exclusive shades. So there are shades in here with the same names corresponding to 3 of Too Faced more neutral palettes that are in the smaller tin-like packaging. And Too Faced in the past has used like the same shades in their palettes, but they've changed the names. In this case, they've used some of the same names from those particular 3 older natural palettes and put them in this newer eyeshadow palette, but there are also a ton of new shades in here. And even though there's a ton of new shades, I still feel like if you have a ton of Too Faced palettes, you're still going to have shades that are very similar, if not the same, to a lot of the shades in this palette. It does come with a little how-to guide inside, which most of Too Faced palettes do, but if you wanted to like see the eye looks and stuff. It also has a little timeline of the eyeshadow palettes when they're released, of the ones that are included also in this larger eyeshadow palette. Too Faced has been kind of hit or miss for me lately, but one of the driving forces for me to buy this eyeshadow palette was the packaging. It just took me back to old school, like really old school Too Faced packaging, which I really love Too Faced when their packaging, you know, looked more like this. This is a cardboard, relatively thin cardboard style packaging. It's kind of large this way. As you can see, here's the peanut butter and jelly, and then here's it in the background, but it's thin. And then the Natural Love and like the little flowers and stuff has got like a felt feeling over it. It's like raised and has like the fuzzy on there, which hopefully it doesn't get too dirty, but it will, I'm sure, at some point. And then inside you do have a mirror. It doesn't stand itself up, but it rolls all the way backwards. And then here are all of your eyeshadows. Out of the 30 eyeshadows in here, there are only 7 matte eyeshadows. You've got Heaven, Nude, Lace Teddy, Spotlight, Honey Butter, Makeup and Chill, and Stiletto. So you're getting some deep matte eyeshadows, and like Honey Butter and Nude are 2 shades that I was able to use as transitions, and they worked out pretty good for me. At first I was like, where am I going to get my matte transition? But those ones work pretty nice. And then I think Spotlight on my skin tone would be a decent transition shade, more of a highlight on a deeper skin tone. And the same with Lace Teddy, but everything else has got a shimmer or a sheen to it. There is one shade in here that has got a thicker, chunky texture to it, so not a ton of pigment, but more of a glitter type, and I guess it's something you might want to use more as kind of a top coat or really pack it on a sticky base. And that is the shade Fairy Tale right there. And I will get up close and give you guys swatches so you can see a little bit better. I did use Hot and Bothered on my lid today, and that has got, it's got a shimmer to it, but it's got little gold glitters in it, and I thought for sure that I was going to get some fallout with those glitters, or like they weren't going to adhere, but they are. You can see them pretty good on the lid. I will say they have transferred up onto my hood and stuff, but I haven't gotten fallout on my face, which is good. The matte's built and blended really well for me, which I used from the crease on upwards just to really see how they could blend, and they did a really good job of blending. They've got nice pigmentation to them as well. If you have a ton of Too Faced palettes, however, you're going to definitely see repeat shades, you know, from obviously the palettes that it states the shades are in here, but you're also going to see definitely similarities, if not the same shades, in several of Too Faced eyeshadow palettes. In terms of the variety there, I don't feel like there's a ton of uniqueness in terms of shade range, but it's a good variety all in one palette. So if you don't have a ton of Too Faced palettes, this would be a good one to get. I feel like these performed pretty good for me. It's definitely a more wearable, softer, neutral eyeshadow palette, which I feel like there's a place for that, like the work environment or something. But each time that I've used this eyeshadow palette so far, it was just soft, pretty, and wearable type of an eyeshadow look. I thought I was going to get a lot more fallout with some of these shades because there are glitter in them, like the Hot and Bothered, but when I got up close to the mirror, I didn't. I did tap my brush off first, however, but for the most part, the matte's blended pretty nice for me, and I was able to build up some of those shades that I thought were a little bit more sheer to get the intensity out of them. So not bad. I'm going to go ahead and zoom up close and give you guys some swatches so you can kind of better see for yourself whether it's not something that you would like. So here's the palette up close. I just love the illustration on this palette from Too Faced, and that is what the back looks like. There's the width, and then inside you've got your mirror and then all of your eyeshadows. Just to point out again the matte shades, you've got Heaven, Nudie, Lace Teddy, Spotlight, Honey Butter, Makeup and Chill, and Stiletto. That shade I was referring to earlier that was the chunkier glitter shade is this yellowy shade called Fairy Tale. And then shades I can visibly detect micro glitter in are the Fairy Tale, Tickle Me, Don't Settle, Fingers Crossed, Chocolate Martini, Undercover, Honeymoon, Hot and Bothered, and Night Fever. These other ones are just kind of a shimmer. Well, you can see some a little bit in Poodle and Pink Cheeks as well. Have got some fine micro glitters in them. Let me go ahead and swatch these. I'll do them 3 at a time. Nice scratch there. So there's the first 3. And the next 3. Oh, that shade's pretty. That is the top row. And the second row. Oh, that color's pretty. These next 3. So that is the second row. Starting on the third row. And then these guys. So there is the third row. Starting on the fourth row, oh, that color's pretty right there. These next 3. So that is the fourth row. And then the very last row. So there is the last row. Hopefully that was helpful for you guys. I do feel like this is one of the better eyeshadow palettes that Too Faced has released recently. Every time that I've used it so far, I've really enjoyed the looks. This is actually my favorite one that I've done thus far with it. The other 2 turned out a little bit more on the natural side, which I suppose is the point of the palette, right? Naturalize. But I really like the way that today's look turned out. So if you're interested in seeing that look, you can hang tight and we'll get into it right now. I'm going to go ahead and prime my lids from the lash line to underneath the brow with the Lolo Eye Primer. I'm going to use the cooler tone side Just pat this on. Then using a Goss number 18 brush, I'm going to go into the shade Hot and Bothered, which is right there. I'm going to pack that on the, starting in the center here. Definitely tapping my brush. There's gold glitters in that one. I'm going to bring it up above the crease too, a bit. Then using that same brush, I just kind of wiped it off on a towel. I'm going to go into the shade Cutie Patootie. It's like a shimmering neutral shade. I'm going to put that right up here. Then using a Chikuhodo GSN9 brush, I'm going to go into the shade Makeup and Chill, which is a matte color. Be the first matte I guess I'm using so far. I'm going to pack it on this outer portion, blend it into the orange, and I'm also going to pull it through the crease area. Then I'm going to take our Hakuhodo J5523 brush and go into the shade, no, not Nudie. I'm going to go into Honey Butter right there, which is also a matte shade. It's kind of a light nude orange. Start blending out this area. Before I further buff that out, I'm going to go into the shade Heaven on a Chikuhodo GSN10 brush and put that underneath the brow. And then I'll use that to kind of buff this area. Then I'm going to grab that Hakuhodo 5523 brush again and go into the shade Lace Teddy, which is right there, and put it up here. Sometimes I have trouble with blending Too Faced mattes, but these are blending really well. They kind of remind me of the ones that were in the Natural Matte eyeshadow palette, which I got along with really well too, but let's buff this again. There's the eyeshadow done. I'm going to go ahead and finish up my eye makeup, and I'll be right back to put on some lips for you guys. For lips, I've got Estee Lauder and Victoria Beckham Lip Pencil in 01 Victoria. I'm going to go and line my lips with this. I'm going to fade it in too. And then I'm going to go ahead and fill them in with the corresponding lipstick at the Estee Lauder Victoria Beckham 01 Brazilian Nude. There's the overall finished look using the Too Faced Natural Love eyeshadow palette. I hope you guys enjoyed this video and found it helpful. Thank you for watching. Do not forget to wear sunscreen, and I'll see you guys later. Bye.